In this video, we're going to show how to mix and deliver feed to a lot or multiple lots in your location. So this is the simplest way to feed and to deliver food to a lot. You want to click on the left menu's Start Individual Load option. It's going to give you this page called Feed Pens, and we're on the Start page. So there's going to be three steps of this process. First, we're going to start by choosing which lots we're going to feed and the ration we're going to feed and how much weight we're going to mix. Second step is going to be to actually mix up the commodities, and the third step is going to be to deliver the feed to the pens. So we're going to feed 10,000 pounds in this example, and we're going to feed this demo lot that we created in a previous tutorial video. So here's a good snapshot of how many heads we're feeding. We're going to feed 44 heads for this lot. And actually, I'm going to back down the number because this is a test, but we're still going to try to be a little bit realistic. So we're going to do 2,000 pounds. Actually, let's just do 1,000 pounds. That'll be enough. So the reason I chose 1,000 is just because I was trying to make this a little bit more reasonable to what it might look in the real world. If we look down here at the rations, the commodities, this will show you, how the targets for each and how many pounds total as fed. This is all as fed information, not dry matter. How many pounds this is going to be for each animal. So we're mixing 1,000 pounds to feed 44 head. So once you've chosen those things, that's all you've got to do, and you hit the next arrow. It's going to take you to the second step, which I said was mixing commodities. So this is literally just showing you the commodities you have in that ration you chose and going to try to direct you to mix these accurately. So this is assuming you have a cumulative scale and you want to watch your scale head and you want to target your scale head to what this black number says here. 219 pounds is our target. Obviously, the resolution of your scale head is probably 10 pounds or so. So hitting by the pound is probably unrealistic, but we're going to say we hit 230, and that's going to show you the progress of that commodity. We're going to hit enter in my case, or you can do, I'll show you a couple other ways to skip to the next commodity. But once you've fed out, in this first example, we fed out 230 pounds of high moisture corn. Now we moved on to barley. If you look up here, your scale target is 280. 280 is the number we need to hit after we've added barley. So currently, if you did not add barley yet, you would have 230 on your scale head in the real world. And now it's telling us we need to get to 280 because we're adding 50 pounds of barley. So we're going to go 275. 275 of barley. So the other ways you can switch to the next commodity, we're actually going to go to bakery meal next. You can click on the commodity you want to go to if you need to mix out of order, and that's fine. You can see now we're on bakery meal and not minerals, even though minerals was next. That's just helpful to try to keep you in the right order, but I get it. You have to switch around. So 360 is our next target. We're actually going to go 320. I'm going to show you. Maybe you have bakery meal split in two areas, and you needed to add, 40 pounds from this spot, 45 pounds from this spot, and you need to go to another, bin or something to get the remaining. That's fine. So we're going to jump back to minerals, and this is just telling us that, hey, you're mixing under what your target is. I'm just going to tell you this if you've gone under or over by 10% of your original target. This is just trying to help you not make mistakes. We're going to ignore the warning because, like I said, we're going to get bakery meal from a different bin. And then minerals, we're going to hit this a little bit over as well, 350. We're going to go back to your bakery meal. And now it's telling us again that we're mixing over for the minerals since that's a small additive. But it's okay. We made a little bit of an error. And that's a good thing to highlight then too is this error column. You can see it will highlight in orange when you've gone over or under that target by 10%. These top two commodities are not in orange because even though there is an error, it's small enough that it's not a huge deal and we don't need to highlight it as orange. So now we're going to grab the remaining weight of bakery meal from a different bin to make that progress be 100%. We're going to feed out potatoes and we're going to feed out corn silage to complete our mix. Now it's going to jump us back to the first commodity. And the next step is, once we are done, let's say we're finished and we're ready to feed this. Before you do that, you can always click up here at this little eye, and this is going to tell us a little bit of information about this load, what our target was and what our actual was. So in this example, we went over by 13 pounds, but that's pretty good. So you're being pretty accurate. Once you're ready to feed, it's up to you to click this feed button. But another thing that you should know is that if you're using the app with multiple people, and let's say you're waiting and you're watching this load, you can always click the refresh button, or on mobile, this is gonna be available too for you to just refresh this page, and you'll get a live update of the progress of this current mix. And the other thing you can do is this little ... button. Let's say you need to undo this mix, you made a mistake or something, you can delete that. It's going to clear that out. Obviously only do that if you actually want the system to undo that weight. And in this example, we're going to redo it. But yeah, so that's literally all it takes. You just have to watch your cumulative mix, your cumulative scale head, and hit the targets based on what the app's recommending. And then we're ready. We click the feed button. And now, because we only chose one lot, and that lot is only in one pen, you only have one pen here. So we will feed out this pen, and let's say we want to split this delivery into multiple deliveries. We want to deliver this in the morning and at night. So what we can do is we can deliver 500 pounds instead of the full 1,002 pounds. So what I described earlier, which the commodities are cumulatively adding up, what the delivery here is doing is it's cumulatively adding down or subtracting, and it's going to still tell you what your scale target needs to be, but now we're going to go down, and so it's telling us it wants our target to be 0 because we're going to deliver all of this feed to the one group. But in my example, like I said, I want to feed this twice, so I'm going to feed this 500 pounds. I'm going to ignore the warning. It's going to show me what it looks like, and it shows down here at the bottom that 500 pounds, or 502 pounds rather, because remember we're going down. So we dropped off 502 by entering 500. It shows that was distributed to this lot. So this isn't not a great example because it doesn't show multiple lots, and we'll do that next. We'll show that next just to get a good feel for what that looks like. So let's say that happened in the morning. That's fine. We'll leave this. We'll pretend this happened in the morning, and we want to, now it's the evening, we want to go deliver the rest of that. We can click on this feed button at the top left. It's going to show us this little drop down, says choose feed load. Click this drop down, and then this is the load that we just started recently but did not finish. We're going to click on that. We're going to click continue, and it's going to take us to the feeding step that we left, where we just left off. And now is when you'll be able to deliver the remaining piece of this, or let's say you needed to feed out 3 times. You can do it as many times as you want to, but in this example, we're going to feed out a second time. We're going to complete this by clicking the arrow, and then when the when the app knows that we've delivered all of the food, we have nothing left in the mixer, the blue complete button is visible. And before we click that, I want to also say you can always refresh the page with this button, or you can clear out the weight, delete the weight from this pen with this button here. And we're going to complete, and it's going to take us to the feed load overview, which shows us all of the details of what we just did. So it shows us the commodities that we've mixed, all of the errors that happened. It shows us the pens that we feed and all of the errors that happened. In this example, there's no errors for the pens. So let's show a more complex example. We're going to go do start individual load. We are going to do 10,000 pounds this time, and we're going to choose all lots. We're going to feed that same ration. We're going to hit go. And now we're going to I'm just going to run through this really quickly, perfectly, just for simplicity's sake. So we hit our target, and now we're going to feed. So now we have, what is this? 8 pens that we're delivering to. And you can see we're at the first one here, and this is going to step us through all the pens. And let's say we're short on that pen. We could ignore the warnings. What I want to show you now by scrolling to the bottom, so we fed pen 7, we fed pen 8. The bottom, this is showing us the lots, and this shows us in green, it's highlighting all of the lots that just got delivered feed by feeding pen 7 and 8. So the system knows where these lots are and who is in lot pen 7 and 8 got the feed, and the important pieces, all the costs that ever are the commodities that we've mixed is now applied to these lots that will be available for the closeouts. So we're just going to continue on here, and then we're going to look at the end result. And for whatever the reason, we need to go back and deliver the rest to pen 8 because we skipped them earlier. When we finish that, we are now at 0. If we click on the complete button, it's going to take us to the overview, and now we can see this one looks a lot more detailed because we have the commodities, we have all the pens. It shows us that pen 2 actually got 49 pounds extra. Pen 8 got 49 pounds less than they should have. That was a business decision we made in the field, and that's fine. And then ultimately what matters is all of this food that got delivered to the lots and all of the costs that got applied